Hello everyone, it's your Austin watching the finest here, and today I'm going to be doing a reread on Chapter 6 on my book, Nebula and Quasar, The Search to Save the Sun, which is a book based on the Nebula and Quasar Altered Reality game, or ARG. Now, since I was introduced to new content by NQ212, as well as Plasmapunk 2001, the rereading that I'm going to do is going to be a recount of what happens when Nova, which is Nebula and Quasar's sister, goes face to face with Hazard, who is another boss and villain sent by Zeno, the ruler of the Intergalactic Empire, who has a black body that consists of armor as well as spikes and pricks attached to it. So, without further ado, I'll begin the rereading. Chapter 6, Planet H.2 Arctic Level. Starting the mission after being prepared for the finest, the duo was able to get out and lock the door so that way no one would be able to break in and cause more trouble completely. As they did, they proceeded to see Nova's call and Nova. With respect, Nova managed to welcome them in, which took Nova and the duo to the first planet, which was known as Planet H.2 Arctic. Arriving at the planet, they saw Starstraw in the complete distance. Hey Nebula and Quasar, this here is Starstraw. He is here to also guide you on how to get through the Planet H.2 Arctic level, which will also take you to Planet Sahara and Planet Greenworld as always. So whatever you do, always follow his instructions and you will be able to get through the pathways as soon as possible, said Nova, who was asking them to go inside her car. As they drove from Common City to the entrance of the H.2 Arctic level, they saw Starstraw, who was there for them. Hello, Nebula and Quasar. I am Mr. Starstraw, and I am here to help you out on this mission as possible. Since I was told to do so by Nova, I will be guiding you while Nova will be driving her car to Common City and Escape Junction in space mode. So, while Nova and I are away for a while, what you need to do is that you need to start diving in the water or jumping on the platforms to collect the batteries that we will need to keep the replacement sun going fine, and even will to that extent as a result. And for the Greenworld, you will need to climb up tall trees while avoiding many obstacles. However, the only priority is the batteries, so make sure you get them. Otherwise, you won't be able to achieve the mission as always. So, you know what exactly do, correct? Said Starstraw, since he could explain about most other levels and what they need to do in order to bypass them. Yes, Starstraw. We know what to do since we understand what the procedure is, since you have explained to us about it. Thank you for telling us about the complete plan that we will think about doing, said Quasar, who was beginning to understand what they needed to do for the mission, with the chance to collect batteries to go even further. As Starstraw went to Nova's call to travel to the final place where the spaceship for City could be, Nebula and Quasar began the mission by going in the entrance of H.2 Arctic. Going inside, they proceeded to swim and dive throughout the place while collecting batteries and going onto platforms. As they swam, they found batteries in containers as well as ones up at the platforms on top. Nebula began doing a search for many things that could also help the replacement sun and be able to power up as much as she needed to. Something tells me that since we are in the H.2 Arctic, we gotta determine how many batteries we should find in order for us to start continuing the mission as possible. Apologies for my coughing. So, do you have any ideas on exactly how many batteries we should be able to collect? So that way, we can be able to start moving on to the next mission by any chance? Said Nebula, who was determined to figure out how many would be beneficial to start moving on towards the other levels, as the H.2 Arctic was about to be complete. Based on what you said, The H.2 Arctic requires as much as 36 batteries to pass on to the next level, which would be pointless hero to that extent. It also allows the replacement sun to be powered up for 36 hours, which would be completely possible since the newest replacement sun can provide near turbulent for about 300 hours. However, if we also take some magmanite, it would be proven possible since we need at least 10 drops of magnet, which creates which creates 50 billion years of burning, along with our sun's own fuel for an additional 4 billion years, which is this, as I will show to you in my pocket in this vial, said Quasar, who was showing Nebula the remaining fuel inside the vial that the sun needed before it could die down and be seized by Xeno, bringing it to massive darkness long before them. As they continued to go throughout the platforms, they found 4 batteries on the first platform, which meant that there was more to come. That's it. All we need is 36 batteries, which is max, said Nebula, who was surprised that Quasar's theory on batteries was not incorrect at all. Someone tells me that you have an absolute correct theory that this is the reason that provides you with most sunlight as soon as possible. You're not one after all to this explanation, said Nebula, who was complimenting Quasar based on what he said about the batteries and even the remaining fuel before the magnet could be retrieved in a box containing a small vial with the minute maximum volume would be as much as 10 drops. Thank you, Nebula. Also, the magmanite that is on here can be retrieved by a rock that has it. Look for signs of a purple and magenta-like substance, which is the magmanite as such. If you mine it down with a pickaxe, you will be able to get as much as 1 for this, and for 4 drops at 1 in Greenwood, and finally, as I would improve. And okay, so where was I? Yes, here. So if you mine it down, as I was saying, if you mine it down with a pickaxe, you will be able to get as much as 1 for this, and for 4 drops at Planet Greenwood, and finally 5 drops at Planet Sahara and Gigalantica. Before we get back to Neotelia, where Escape Junction is also located, since we need to get in and intrude the ship, said Quasar, who was providing as much tasks as possible for Nebula Quasar himself for the complete mission. Doing what Quasar had explained, Nebula proceeded to continue on diving and swimming while jumping on platforms. Quasar, in retrospect, did the same. As they continued, they proceeded to collect 5 batteries on the second platform. However, as they continued, they noticed that there were complete obstacles and sometimes enemies that they needed to completely tackle down. As they proceeded to jump and swim while diving in the water or running on the platforms, they used a space race to start shooting objects and even enemies straight on the way. As they did, they even proceeded to dodge them as such. Alright, all we need to do is find a rock and find a pickaxe useful, so that way we can mine it for the first drop of magma. So I'll improve. So I think I'll improve this here. So, as I was saying before, alright, all we need to do is find a rock and find a pickaxe useful, so that way we can mine for the first drop of magmanite with its fuel for 5 billion years for each drop. If we do that, then we can continue with the rest of the mission until all of the drops have been collected as possible, said Quasar, who was helping Nebula with the journey and with the complete potential to find one in the H.2 Arctic. As they looked around, they found a loose rock that was suspected to have a purple liquid-like substance inside the rock. Aha! There it is. Let's grab it while collecting batteries and being able to do things that we can do for many as always, said Quasar, as he found the rock that was suspected to have a form of magma ready to be mined at finest, and with the contents to be poured onto a vial. Taking it out, Quasar continued with Nebula on the journey to complete the H.2 Arctic and take all the batteries needed to power up the replacement sun for the IPF solar system. Even with a fight against a boss they encountered known as Sulfur, as the duo managed to devise every kind of strategy to outsmart him as a complete result. As they managed to catch every battery in a group of 2 or 4, one after the other, they managed to collect all 36 batteries in total as a result, as they finally managed to make it to the end with the rod taken out of the water. So, what should we do with those batteries? Said Quasar, who was figuring out how to deal with them. Just then, a transmitter was turned on, which revealed to be Stone Cold's voice. Alright, if you have found the batteries for the replacement sun, what you need to do is look for some replacement sun only. If you have found it, make sure you put all of the batteries. Each battery can give replacement sun as much as 1 hour of burning. That is what it will need before the magma can be used on the action to provide it the finest amount of energy as a result for the plants and for the people in Utopia, says Stone Cold. Ending the call, the duo agreed to put the batteries in a slot with the description of what it said. Placing them in, the duo, they could probably notice that the batteries that were put into the slot powered up the replacement sun once it was seen in a vacuum chamber, needing to be being put in the right place. Wow, this should provide replacement sun as much as it can. However, since the right amount of nutrients is possible enough if we can save this up for the beginning collapse, we need to actually do something if you want to save the galaxy also, said Nebula, who was having some knowledge about the batteries they proceeded to collect on the planet before and after another. Right. However, what we need to do is to mine this rock that we found when we took it out of the water in the Edgewood Arctic. Do you happen to see any pickaxes as a result? Said Quasar, who was taking a look at where one exactly could be. As they looked, Nebula found something that was stuck. It looks like, said Nebula as she got to pulling feet up. It took 10 minutes to string and pull it. In a matter of seconds, I believe Nebula was able to pull out a pickaxe and was ready to see that there was one. A pickaxe! Exclaimed Nebula as she was successful in finding one. Eureka! That's the way to do it. Nice one, Nebula, said Quasar, as he was happy to see the pickaxe. Here, Quasar, since you may need it for mining, said Nebula. Thank you, said Quasar. As Quasar worked hard to mine the rock, since he did it in a mining class, Quasar kept looking at the purple substance while mining, which was suspected to be magmatite. As it took 10 seconds, the first rock was mined, which revealed to be magmatite. That is what we need. The first drop of magmatite equivalent to 5 billion years of burning to be placed in the vial, inside the box that I have, so that way we can use it for the rest, said Quasar, as he took out the box containing the vial. As he placed the rock over the vial with the lid removed, the first drop of magmatite, equivalent to 5 billion years of burning, managed to go inside. Alright, 9 more to go, and we will be able to combine with the fuel for the sun that is part of a galaxy. So what are we waiting for? Let's bring out a spaceship for travel to other planets, said Nebula. No problem, said Quasar with the proper lingo. As he activated a button on his remote control, a flying space vehicle known as the Comet I-945X managed to land. Come on, Nebula, we have 2 more planets that we need to travel, said Quasar. As the duo went on board, they proceeded to fly throughout the IPF solar system and onto Planet Green World as the mission was continuing. Meanwhile, Nova was called by Sturger to fight Hazard, who was causing rampage, and so I will improve that here. As it was saying, meanwhile, Nova was called by Sturger to fight Hazard, who was causing rampage in Common City and its 179.94 Northern quadrilateral skyscrapers and buildings. Can you hear me? Threat is nearby. Be careful, Nova, said Stone Cold as he started the call. As he did, Nova saw one person evacuate. She then saw hundreds of Northern quadrilaterals of citizens evacuating the streets. Just then, Hazard, one of the world's most dangerous monsters, landed on the ground. Was there to attack the city, and was this monster that was also in black and had the potential to shoot bricks and even spikes at people, while using heads with pricks attached also. To make it even worse, Hazard was set for Xeno and was built like a tank to cause more trouble along the way. Began to turn supernova. They would battle Hazard with her superpowers. Fighting, Nova proceeded to dodge Hazard's extending hand while avoiding his spikes. Hazard, on the other hand, tried as much as he could to get Nova and dominate the city as much as he could. The battle took 2 hours for Nova to stop Hazard. Shoot! I need to find a way to stop this monster, said Nova, who was finding Hazard to prevent more rampage. Just then, as it turned out, she saw a new feature on her spaceway that was able to destroy monsters. Aha! That is something I will need to do, said Nova. Activating the feature, Nova proceeded to attack Hazard with the adjusted feature, generating lasers at 878.88 Nova quadrillion times powerful. As this happened, Hazard proceeded to dodge 4 out of the 878.88 Nova quadrillion lasers while getting hit by all of them. As this managed to continue for another 2 hours, luckily, once Hazard was overwhelmed, he proceeded to fly in the air and went to escape junction. Nova then followed pursuit, since it was the ultimate challenge waiting for the entire Comet City Police Department or CCPD. So that's going to be the end of chapter 6 here. So if you like this video, please hit the like button down below and also please subscribe to me and many others. The review for chapter 10 will be coming soon as I continue to recover from my sickness. It's Oz to go watch the finest out.